They're wondering how long it takes cedars to grow and why cedars are so symbolic.
That's a great question. Cedar trees can take different amounts of time and they're used for different things. But there's some cedar trees that are hundreds of years old. Up to 1,000 is what I've seen, the biggest cedar tree. And so when a tree gets cut down, so don't ever go and look to find a tree to cut down. But if you ever see a tree that's been cut down and you look inside of its trunk, it'll have rings inside of it. And the rings, which is so interesting, look a little bit like our fingerprints. And each ring is a year of that cedar's life. And so there can be trees, that take 30 years. So I'm 31 years old, and I think a cedar tree that's 31 years old is not that big compared to some that are hundreds of years old. And the reason that the cedar tree is so sacred is for many reasons. And that's why I put it in the book for the cedar tree being a leader, because being a leader means that you're looking out for everybody else and lifting up everybody else. So a long time ago in our communities, it would be the chiefs and the knowledge keepers that were lifting everybody up. Those were the leaders and they were taking care of everybody else. And the cedar tree was used because of its ability to live in harsh conditions like the rain and the ocean and all sorts of things like that. It was used for canoes. It was used for houses. It was used for protection. It's a medicine. We use it as a medicine. So we'll put on a cedar hat because it'll keep the water away, but also it's a very sacred form of medicine. We use cedar to protect us from bad spirits or bad energy. And it doesn't need to even be bad things. It's about making sure that we're always looked after in everything that we do. And if you look at a cedar bough, the little tiny green spines that come off of a cedar bough, there's one on each side, 1, 2, 1, 2. They're perfectly in balance. And so one of our teachings is about being in balance. That means having the same weight on either side. And so when we want to have balance in our life, we use the cedar bough because there's equal green parts on either side of the stem. So we use the cedar tree for many, many things. Clothing, we used it for diapers, all sorts of things. So it was actually one of our best tools. And that's why we looked after it like it was one of our own people. We would never, ever take any of the cedar boughs or cedar bark off of the cedar without asking.